My name is Justina Martino. I'm the Public Engagement and Outreach Manager at Verge. My primary media are painting and ceramics, and I'm really inspired by bricks right now. That's all I'll say on that. And I think we'll get started. So let me put this in presentation mode. So you are here at the Sac Open Studios info session for 2022. We have some fun pictures of artists from last year's program here. At the bottom left, we have William Peterson, a ceramicist. Next to him, we have Lynn Mayugba, she's a painter. Neil Uno, he is a painter as well, and also I think he does some printmaking. And at the end here, we have Kanika Marshall, who's a mixed media artist. So I'm gonna go to the next slide. So just a bit of housekeeping before we begin. You will get all the slides via email, plus a recording of this webinar. And please wait until designated times to ask questions. So I'll probably ask if you have questions after I go over some specific sections, and then also we'll have a question session at the end. So our timeline is, I'll tell you a bit about Verge, about Sac Open Studios. We'll meet the Sac Open Studios team. We'll see a program timeline, what's included in artist participation. We'll look at artist testimonials, and then we'll give you contact info, and then we'll do the Q&A. So just a bit about Verge. We were founded in 2008, and we're a nonprofit arts organization which is focused on the promotion and support of contemporary art in the Sacramento region. We offer public programs, youth and adult education events, and an artist in residence program. We actually have about 50 artists who have studios in our building right now, which is really cool because there's lots of artistic activity going on every day. We'd like to acknowledge that Verge is on the traditional land of the Nisenan people, and the current state of California is the homeland of many tribes. We are so honored to be here today and acknowledge our responsibility to these Native nations and our commitment to work with them as we move forward as an inclusive institution. It's always a work in progress. So I'll get into Sac Open Studios now, which is this program we're here to learn about. It's something that we present annually. It actually used to be presented by the Center for Contemporary Art in Sacramento, if any of you remember that institution. And we're in the 17th year right now. And the first year, I think it was just, it was all women artists. And I think it was just 30 women artists on the tour. And now we're up to about 250 artists a year, all genders, all throughout the county. And some parts of Yolo County. So it's really grown, and we're really proud of that. So the central component of the Sac Open Studios program is an Artist Open Studios tour. And for this program, artists open their studios to the public during 2 weekends in September. The term art studio takes many forms for us. While plenty of participating artists do have traditional workspaces and studio facilities, many of the participating artists open their home studios or utilize other spaces to display their art during their assigned weekends. So some artists share studios with their friends to show their work during the weekend, or work with local businesses to be hosted there during their weekend. So there's lots of different options. Since the studio locations of participating artists span all of Sacramento City Council districts and West Sacramento, and it's not included here, but also Woodland, starting last year, it has been one of the most impactful ways in which Verge is able to fulfill our mission of expanding contemporary art throughout the region. So just briefly, I want to introduce you to the Sac Open Studios team. So these are the people that you will probably interact with if you have Sac Open Studios questions, or if you come to our events. To the left, we have Liv Mo. She's the executive director of Verge. In the middle, that's me, Justina Martino, with my long hair there. I'm the public engagement and outreach manager, and Esther Lyons. She's here and she's helping you all in the chat right now. So feel free to say hi to her there. She's our outreach associate. So here I have the 2022 program timeline. So registration is currently open, and the regular registration deadline is May 18th. If you happen to miss that deadline, we have an extra week for you, but this is considered late registration and the fee goes up a bit, and that deadline's May 25th. The Sac Studios guide is released on August 5th, and we also have a party for that release, so that'll be fun. And then September 8th is when we have a kickoff party at Verge, and the Sac Open Studios preview exhibit also opens that night. September 10th through 11th is weekend 1. September 18th through 19th is weekend 2. And then October 7th is the last day to view the preview exhibit at Verge. So this year that exhibit will be up for a month. In the past, it's only been up for about 3 weeks. So it's a little extra bonus. Now I'll get into artist eligibility and registration. I think I listed these a little out of order, so I'll start with eligibility. I just want to let you know all artists are eligible to participate as long as you have a place to be present with your artwork for the entirety of weekend 1 or weekend 2, depending on where you're located. How to register, you just visit sacopenstudios.com and you'll find a button there to get you to the registration form. On that form, we ask you to submit your contact info, your studio location info, an image of your artwork, and your registration fee payment. The cost to participate is $99 for Verge members and $150 for non-members. During the late registration period, it's $175 for everyone, whether you're a member or not. And we also have about 55 scholarships available for artists experiencing financial need. You can email us at sacopenstudios@verge.art.com if you're interested in applying for a scholarship. And I just wanted to go over location. So we have weekend 1, that includes studios west of I-80 or Highway 99, including West Sacramento and Woodland. So that's, Sophia, can you see my cursor when I go over stuff? Yes, okay. So we have weekend 1 here and weekend 2 here. And also weekend 2 also includes southern areas of the county. So it's areas Elk Grove and south of Elk Grove are on weekend 2, regardless of which side of the freeway that they're on. So Sac Open Studios participation includes inclusion in the in-person Open Studios tour, which is the main component. You also get a full color artist listing in the, that should say 2022, sorry about that, in the 2022 Sac Open Studios guide. You get an opportunity to list a demo in the guide. You'll get an artist profile in the Sac Open Studios artist directory on vergeart.com. You'll receive free enrollment and a recording of how to promote your studio workshop. You'll be included in the 2022 Sac Open Studios preview exhibit, unless we want to go back in time and go to 2021. And discounted advertising rates in the 2022 Sac Open Studios guide. Apologies for the typos there. Does anyone have any questions so far? I'm going to go deep into each of those areas, but if you have any questions right now, let me know. Okay, so I'm just going to move along. So the in-person tour, this is the exciting part. This is when you get to open your art studio, or you get to show your art at a cafe or wherever you want to show your art, and people come to you, which is really cool. So participating artists open their studios to the public during their assigned weekends. And during art Sac Open Studios, like I mentioned before, the term art studio takes many forms. So I've seen artists open up in their backyards, open up in cafes and plant shops, share studios with other artists. You know, they opened in their garages. So really, the term studio for us could be anything. So where do artists have to be located? You have to be in Sacramento County, West Sacramento or Woodland to be eligible to participate. And these are just the location info again. So weekend 1 is located west of I-80 or Highway 99, and those places include West Sacramento, Woodland, North Sacramento, downtown, midtown, etc. Weekend 2 includes artists located east of that highway, plus all of Elk Grove and areas south of Elk Grove. So that includes places like Citrus Heights, Folsom, Fair Oaks, Carmichael, Rancho Cordova, etc. Got a lot of areas for people to open up. When will this happen? Weekend 1 is September 10th and Sunday, September 11th. Weekend 2 is Saturday, September 17th and Sunday, September 18th. And the official tour times are 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., which having opened my studio for the first time this past year for another Open Studios event, it's a really long time, but we do ask you to be there the whole time or have someone cover you if you need to take breaks. It's really great to have an assistant, someone to be there for you. So why Sac Open Studios? Because it's a tour that connects artists directly with the public. People get to experience art in their own neighborhoods and really see all of the artists that fill our region with vibrancy and creativity. Artists get the chance to grow their audience and make sales, have great conversations, chat with other artists. And it's just a really great celebration of the many talented artists in our region. So how every artist that registers is included in the in-person tour and expected to open their space to the public during their assigned weekends. So now we're on to the guide and your artist listing in the guide. The Sac Open Studios guide is really a big, it's a big feat for the Verge staff, and I think it's a really valuable resource for the community that people use before, during, and after the tour. The guide features information about each artist and their studio locations. It has artist demos, maps to help people get around the county and parts of Yolo County during the tour. It has advertisements, which is how we fund the guide, and more resources to help attendees to get the most out of their experience. Every participating artist gets a listing, and each listing you can see here on the right includes a photo of their artwork, their name, their media, their studio number, which is corresponds to the maps in the guide, their studio address, and then their contact info. And I've heard multiple accounts of people using this guide after Open Studios to find artists for commissions, or just to find artwork for their own home, or to find artists for events. So it's a really good place to have your work listed. The guides are distributed throughout Sacramento County and West Sacramento at 500 plus businesses and organizations. We also stock it in public distribution boxes at like high traffic spots around the region. And we have a digital version online. Okay, the guide is released the first Friday of August, which is August 5th this year. And attendees use the guide to identify artists they like to visit. And once again, people refer to the guide all year long. We give it to people that come in through Verge all year long when they just ask about like, what's going on in Sacramento? Who are the artists here? Who are the galleries here? We always give them a Sac Open Studios guide. So everything needed for your guide listing is included in the registration form, which means you should complete it carefully and double check your spelling and grammar, because we can't promise that we'll catch every error, unfortunately. And you'll also upload one image of your artwork to be featured in the guide. I think the format that works best for this guide is like this horizontal landscape format, because that really fills up the spot. And we ask that you only include an image of your artwork in the image you include. Try not to have anything in the background, because the images are pretty small. So we want people to see your artwork as best as they can as they're flipping through, so they can get a sense of what you do. So related to the guide, each artist has the opportunity to list a demo in the guide. And a demo is when an artist demonstrates a technique or process at scheduled times during your Open Studio weekend. So all submitted demos will get listed on the Verge website, and a selection of the demos will be included in the printed guide. We may be able to include all of them. It just depends on how much space we have. The demos will take place at the artist studio location, and they're also listed on the website and the guide. They take place during the tour. And what's great about demos is that they really give attendees a behind the scenes view into the artistic process, and they add another level of engagement to your Open Studio. I recently read that the more a person knows about your artwork, the higher they value it. So doing things like demos or even just telling people about your process or about your inspirations is going to make people value your artwork higher and make it more likely that they'll actually, start following you or purchase your work. I think that's really interesting that someone could just look at art and not know anything about it and then know a bit about it and immediately value it higher. So there's just a little tidbit that I just learned for you all. So to list a demo in the guide and on the website, you'll just need to fill out an artist demo form and we'll email that to you after registration closes. So the next thing that's included in registration is a profile in the artist directory. And this is an online artist directory that we introduced in 2020 in response to COVID, because since people weren't allowed to visit in person that year, we wanted to create another way for people to see the artist's artwork that participate in this program. So it's really like your own little website within the Verge website. And you can see in this example on the right, artists, I think they have 10 images that they can upload here. I should start at the top. You have the artist name. This is Deconstructed Artichoke Press, which is the company name for Nikki Thompson for her bookmaking practice and zine making practice. She goes by Deconstructed Artichoke Press. Other artists just use their names. You see it has Nikki's studio location and the weekend that she's on. She also had the option to link her website here and email and social handles. And there's also a spot for bio. I can't scroll down on this, but if you were to scroll down, it says services offered. And I think she put that she accepts commissions, and then that's the end of the profile. So that's a nice resource. You can find that, if you want to take a look, you can find that directory at vergeart.com, or you can just go directly to sacopenstudios.com, which also takes you to the Verge site. Artist profiles will be live by the end of August and stay up for 1 year. And I already told you why, so I won't get into that there. And then you'll be emailed login information and will be provided with information about how to set up your profile after registration closes. Okay, so this is a really great perk to artist participation. You get to enroll for free into the How to Promote Your Open Studios workshop, which is usually taught by Kate Farrell. I'm hoping that she'll teach it again for us this year. So in this workshop, artists learn effective ways to promote their art and their participation in Sac Open Studios and other art events. To be honest, the skills taught in this workshop can help you with any art event. In this workshop, artists learn techniques to help them grow their audience, engage their current supporters, build their newsletter list, increase sales, develop relationships with collectors and gallerists, and level up their virtual presence. It's on Zoom. We used to do it in person, but after COVID, we started doing it on Zoom, and we kind of like that format better. And why we offer it is because we do our own Sac Open Studios promo, but this tour is really successful when artists also do their own promotion, because it's, unfortunately, we can't promote each artist individually. We mostly promote it as just an event. So when you do your own promo, you'll definitely get more visitors. And we try to share as much from the artist as we can as they put their promotions on social media. So this workshop gives you the tools you need to effectively promote your art in your open studio event. And artists will be emailed the link to register for this after registration closes. Finally, the last thing included in your participation is inclusion in the preview exhibit at Verge. It's really cool to have an exhibit at Verge Center for the Arts. Just saying, like, it's not just because I work there, it's a cool place to have an exhibit. So it's on all participating artists are welcome to submit there or to give us their work for this exhibit. Usually the work has to be under 24 by 24 by 24, so we can accommodate it all. Since it's a group exhibit, you can see it here, it's hung salon style. It's at Verge. Actually, sorry, there's another typo in these dates. It's actually from September 8th to October 7th this year. I'll edit this when I send out the slide deck. And this gives artists the opportunity to have their art displayed at Verge professionally by professional installers who have been installing art for years and years. And visitors have the chance to see the art in person before planning their self-guided tour. So a lot of times before people go out on a tour, they'll come to Verge and check out the art and take, notate the artist that they want to go visit based on the art they see in the preview exhibit. So artists will be provided with artwork guidelines and a contract to complete, and we will help artists schedule a time to drop off their work in August. Artists, I thought that was the last thing, but I think this is actually the last thing. So artists also get discounted advertising rates in the Sac Open Studios guide. As an artist, you get 50% off as long as you're advertising your artwork. You can see here, there's two example ads from artists Shirley Hazlitt and Linda Nunez. The deadline to purchase an artist ad will be June 15th. And since there are hundreds of artists who participate, this is a great way to have some extra real estate in the guide and I guess put an extra spotlight on yourself in the guide for people to see as they flip through. The artist ad kits will be emailed to artists after they register. We're still in the process of making the kit for this year, but we'll email those out as soon as we're done. And if you'd like to purchase an ad but haven't received the kit, you can email us at ads@vergeart.com for help. Okay, so before I get into some artist testimonials, does anyone have any questions on anything? I know that was a lot, so no pressure.
Are we doing artist interviews this year?
No, we're not doing the interviews this year.
Okay.
So I have a question. So the audience, our audience can come without a reservation or a time, any particular time. I mean, that's, I guess, what the open means with the open studio.
Yeah,
but since COVID, I was wondering, if it makes more, if you were going to do something of that nature.
Yeah, last year we encouraged artists to put up signs that masks were required, but this year, since all of the guidelines have been removed on the county level, I don't know if we will ask the artists do that unless there's new guidelines or another wave
or a
that
new
comes
stealth,
through.
a new virus.
I hope not, but
no. And I shouldn't be laughing, but
No, I know. What can you do at this point? I mean, it's good to laugh about it, I think, because it's just never ending. But yeah, it's just any time from 10 to 5 on Saturday or Sunday that they can pop in, which is why I recommend having an assistant or a friend to help you out.
Oh,
because
yeah.
It might get busy at certain times and you want to be able to make sure you have someone.
Definitely. No, I do pop-up shows and I couldn't do it just myself. No, I guess I could. You can do anything, but it's much, much better. Makes the time go by faster as well.
Yeah, you have a friend there to hang out with and you're much less stressed because you're not going to get overwhelmed with people trying to ask you questions all at once. That's
true. Can I ask you one more question?
Of course.
What is the range of the price for an ad in the guide? Do you know offhand?
Yeah, so the highest would be 500 for a full page. The full page is usually 1,000, and then it goes down from there. So it'd be an eighth page would be 125 for artists, so it ranges from 125 to 500. Something that a lot of artists have done is split the rate of a full page and taken out a full page together, like artists who are maybe opening up at the same house or artists in a studio facility. They usually share the fee.
Will the information that you presented this evening be in written form?
I will share the PowerPoint, Jelena, and I put most of the information is written on there.
Okay.
Esther, were there any questions from the chat I should address?
There was a question about if from Jillian, and if it would be in written form, and like Justina said, you'll all get copies of these slides as well as a recording. And also Norman asked if there's any sort of clearinghouse for artists looking to co-op on a space or find a space into their actual studio. Verge doesn't facilitate those arrangements, but we do encourage artists to contact local businesses or cafes or connect with other artists to share a space. We just don't have the bandwidth to organize that at this point.
And we do have a Facebook group, which is a great place to connect with other artists. Sophia, do you know how to find the link to that for the Facebook group? All right, I'll find it and put it in the chat. Okay, one sec. It won't take me that long. Talk amongst yourselves. Okay.
I do understand though that it could be kind of intimidating as an artist to go into a cafe. So what we do suggest is go somewhere that you already have a relationship with. Maybe it's a place you get a coffee, a restaurant you've been going to for years, and approach them, you know. And like Justina said, you can connect with other artists on our Facebook group, and also you can look at the past Sac Open Studio guide, which is on our website, to see what artists, and you might recognize somebody and reach out.
Yeah, those are all really great suggestions, Sophia.
Yeah. It's great for the cafe owner. It's bringing in people all day long that might not otherwise have gone there.
That's right.
Definitely. Yeah, it's really good for businesses. Go ahead, Shirley.
Okay, I don't know the protocol for making a comment. I just wanted to say, my name is Shirley Hazlett, and I've participated in Sac Open Studios almost every year, and it gets better and better every year.
Oh.
My studio is in a real remote, isolated area. It's a metal building, and Verge just does a great job in creating awareness of all the artists. Each year when I participate, I wonder, is anybody going to even find me this year? Is anybody going to come this year? And yes, they do. It's really, really fabulous. If anybody has questions and you'd like to ask me a question separate from here, I'd be happy to respond. I just want to say, this is a very valuable effort, and I really appreciate everything that Verge does. And I'm happy to share what I've learned over the years with any of you, but contact me separately. Not, you know, I can't answer questions in this format, but I'm happy to answer questions if anybody contacts me. I'm a member of the Facebook group that was just mentioned.
Thank you, Shirley. You're
Thank
gonna make
you.
me cry.
Ladies, I have to leave. I have another meeting to attend for a theatrical performance that I'm involved in with my art.
Ooh,
So I will, that's why I asked about the written information so that I can stay abreast of what is to be done.
awesome. Thank you for coming, Jelena.
Yes,
Good to
I'm
see your
glad
face.
I did. I'm glad I did. You all have a good
Okay.
evening.
You
Goodbye.
too.
All right.
Well, Shirley just gave us a great testimonial, but I do have a couple of testimonials that I could share as well, if I can find them. I lost my spot. Okay, there we go. I have to share my screen again now.
While she's doing that, I did want to mention too, in regards to Sherry's question about COVID requirements. Really, we're not saying that you can't require people to wear masks. You are in charge of your own space in your own home. So if you feel comfortable saying to people they need to wear a mask, that's totally up to you.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you for mentioning that, Sophia. So I just wanted to read a couple of feel-good artist testimonials. Both of these artists, Diego and Yuli, last year was their first year participating. So from Diego, he says, the Sac Open Studios tour allowed me to share my art with our local community. It also served as a networking opportunity through which I met many new artists, art collectors, and curators. I believe Sac Open Studios benefits Sacramento artists by providing a unique and vibrant event that promotes, activates, and supports a wide range of art making disciplines. I strongly believe Sac Open Studios serves as an accessible and energizing gathering, not only for emerging and established artists, but also for our community. Art brings people together, and Sac Open Studios is continuously serving as a communal delight that propels the creative economy and the presence of the arts in the city of Sacramento. Can you tell he's a writer? That was very well written. And then Yuli says, this is my first Sac Open Studios, and I truly believe it helped me grow as a professional artist. It helped me build awareness for my work, connect with new people, and build relationships, and pushed me to start collecting emails for a mailing list, which is something I kept putting off. It also allowed me to get more comfortable talking about my process, prices, and myself. The networking opportunities that came with the program is also something that I really appreciated. Being able to connect with other artists, clients, and the staff at Verge has been very beneficial. The exposure that was provided was incredibly impactful, and I have even received a large commission from someone who saw my art in the Sac Open Studios guide. There you go, there's another plug for the guide there. And then with that, that's all I have to share with you guys tonight. I just have some contact information. So if you want to visit us, we're at 625 S Street. That's where the preview exhibit will be. You can email us at sacopenstudios@vergeart.com. It's myself and Estefia who are checking that. We do our best to get back to you. Just FYI, we are extremely short-staffed at Verge currently. So I guess that's just me asking you to please be patient with us if we don't get back to you immediately. Our website is vergeart.com. Our social media is @vergeart. And if you'd like to join the Facebook group, it's facebook.com/groups/Sac Open Studios. And you can join that whether you're a participating artist or not. And that's all. Any other questions before we sign off?